Thank you for listening to the Young Nails Biz Talk. Today's episode is part one of two episodes where Greg and I chat about some crazy Young Nails horror stories. Enjoy the podcast and look out for part two.
YN horror stories, bro. I mean, we have a lot. If you guys want a little story time, just put your seatbelt on and check this out. The first thing that comes to my mind real quick, bro. I just remember we were in our small 1,800 square foot warehouse in Anaheim.
Yep.
And you and I wanted to put in a new air conditioning unit in the front. You know, we wanted to change this. Went to Home Depot. We bought one. Yeah. And, bro.
The only air conditioning unit was actually in the front office.
That's it. There was no air conditioning anywhere. And this is a horror story. Like, this still gives me nightmares. We're taking apart the existing wall air conditioning unit. Yeah. And, dude, you peel off the front cover, bro. And inside is a full infestation of black widows, bro. There were hundreds.
It was crazy.
And remember the mother with, like, she had a sack?
It's like a tarantula.
It was a tarantula, but a black widow.
Shoe and just belted.
No, bro. I remember clearly. What, you don't remember what you did, bro? It was close. You're like, I'm gonna get it. I'm like, no, dude. You don't even wait for me, bro. You literally jump in the air and you side kick the black widow, bro. And the thing just goes boom on the floor. And dude, this tarantula widow starts wigging, and you're just like squash. And you just, but then still inside, dude, all the babies. I mean, that's what we were working with, bro.
That was crazy.
It was horrible, bro. Somehow we killed, or you killed, I'm going to say. I didn't get near that thing. You killed all the black widows, bro. I mean, and then we pushed out the air conditioning unit, and we eventually changed that thing.
We had some crazy neighbors too, Roy and his wife.
Oh my God. They like big camper. They just would park out in front.
This guy moved in, and he retrofitted, I guess, basically parts for airplanes. And he lived there.
Yeah,
like,
he
lived. So he parked this huge motorhome in front of the two units that he rented.
Yeah.
So he was doing his retro work, and he was living.
Hang out.
At 1081 North Kramer
That's
Place.
right, bro. Right there. He would just... we'd see him telling, hey, we're like, what is going on in that building, bro?
That was crazy.
And then, dude, just like, I remember you and I, we'd be working late sometimes, and then we would go and eat, and then it'd be like, 8 p.m. We would come back to the warehouse, and then like, I would wait in the hallway, and I'd be like, all right, bro, okay, get ready to hit the lights, Greg. Dude, you'd hit the lights, and I would run down the hallway crunching cockroaches. Do you remember that? Yes. Dude, they would scatter, and there were so many cockroaches in that building, and I was like crunching, like how many, it was a game, bro. Crunch the cockroaches. How many can we kill?
That must have been 1999.
99, 2000, like it was over 20 years ago, bro.
It was either 98 or 99. It was the very end of the 90s. It was crazy too, because I remember when we rented that warehouse, we were renting that space for 41 cents a square foot. Can you
41 cents?
Imagine, you guys.
Now it's like rent in Orange County is like $1.70,
65 to $2, depending on where you are. Most of the industrial warehouse space is
it's almost tripled.
It is tripled.
Yeah,
it's $1.65 at the base.
At the base,
Exactly. So and that's again if you're renting, say, over 12,000 square feet.
Right. When you go down to that, you're talking over $2 easily. Easy, maybe $2.50.
Exactly. It's inflation has definitely hit.
Is insane. Dude, there's dozens and dozens and dozens of stories, but I mean, people don't know this, but Young Nails used to have a partner, right? Like way back in the 90s.
We had a few.
Yeah, we had a few.
Yeah,
We've had a few.
So the first partner was And,
Correct. That was insane, bro.
Which was insane. So that lasted a little less than 2 years. I got to thank him, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in the business.
And you guys found out that he was embezzling money.
Yeah, he was basically writing a check to himself and his girlfriend at the time.
Right.
And also, what's crazy is that we were manufacturing manicuring kits for
right.
cosmetology schools at the time. So, dude, he would sit in his office and like he would yell my name, dude, from his office, Greg, like, dude, and I would come into the office and he's like, send this kit to this owner in Louisiana. So I packed the kit up, you know, because
you were 21.
I was 21 at the time, so I was, you know, I was the warehouse manager. I was the warehouse salesperson. I was everything. I was the worker. I was shipping.
Yep.
I did everything. I did sales, shipping, packing. Built out the warehouse with Doug and Abe.
That's right, bro.
Retrofitted it with all those tables.
I remember that long table
with the blue carpet.
Blue carpet, bro,
on the top. So he would, you know, daily, you know, tell me to put these kits together and send them out to these school owners on consignment. So like, you know, we're sending these kits out, and then, you know, every other week I'm asking, you know, did we get the school order? Did we get the school order? And, you know, after like a month or two, he'd be like, nah, they decided they were going to go with OPI, or they decided they were going to go with this other brand. But what he was doing was he was telling the school owners that, you know, like, you know, don't worry about it. You know, there's like $500 worth of material. Just send me a check for like a couple $100 to my personal PO box.
He's just collecting money.
I was just like, you know, he was getting his, I was getting his cash. And, I mean, it was, you know, talk about school of hard knocks.
Yeah, bro.
You know, I didn't, know anything about business at the time. I just remember mom coming into, like, after a year and a half, you know, mom had exhausted all her financial resources. She had taken out,
refied the house.
She refinanced the house. She borrowed like 50 grand. She borrowed money from all her family members.
Everybody.
She borrowed from Ema, which is my aunt. And then she,
her brother.
She
asked every family member on dad's side of the family.
Yeah, and then dad's cousin ended up lending her like a bunch of money. But I mean, it was crazy. And I mean, she came into the room. She's like, "What do you think about, you know, us just, you know, parting ways?" And dad had no idea
that you guys had the business.
That we had the business.
Yeah, he had zero clue that you guys had a business, which is insane, bro.
Which is insane, which leads to the Vegas story, right? So, like, and I'm like, you
know. Well, let me ask you this. So, mom came in the room.
Yeah, and she was like, "What do you think about us separating?" She's like, "You know, you and I could do this on our own." And I was like, I was nervous.
Of course.
I didn't know anything about. I didn't have any business experience. I didn't have any accounting, financial experience. So I was like, you know, I don't know. And she's like, "Look, I can borrow the money." I think she borrowed from her sister, and she's like, "I keep the money and
pay him out."
Yeah, and so I agreed, and I said, "Okay, you know, let's talk to him." So mom talked to him, and he friggin' wigged out, dude. Like he was basically like, we were backstabbing him and
while he was stealing money.
Yeah. So, you know, because mom, you know, he had 50% or whatever with the business. We had 50%. He had 50%. Which, I mean, there was no real contract. It was all on a handshake, to tell you the truth.
Right.
Like, I mean, back then, like, we didn't even know what we were supposed to do legally to kind of create this partnership. So what ended up happening was I went to the office in a basically upset and told him, like, "Look, you have a choice. You take the money that we're going to give you, right? Or we're going to file bankruptcy. And if we file bankruptcy, you get zero.
You get zero, and you're done. We're done.
We're done. We're done with the business."
Over.
So he thought about it, and he came back and he said he agreed. So he had some friggin' lawyer buddy of his, dude, drop a contract, and basically, we settled for it was like 20 grand.
20K, yeah, that's right.
We paid him $15,000, and his girlfriend $5,000. And we did separate amicably. It was, as amicably
as you can.
As you can.
Yeah.
And then he ended up actually going to, I don't know if you remember, I'm not going to mention the name because there's no need to mention those names, but there was another company that was making nail art kit. We had a small little nail art kit inside that big kit.
Yeah.
They were based in Irvine. We was buying this kit, and he actually went to them and convinced him that, this business that we had, this kit business, was generating, 50 grand a month right off the bat. He could get all that business back. It was all the relationships that he had built. He built nothing, bro.
Zero.
I had traveled to all these schools across the country.
That's right.
And, at the time, too, I wasn't even doing nails. I would just walk in with a suit, show the school owner the kit, and say, hey, this is what we do. We manufacture kits for schools. If you have a, whatever your curriculum is based on, we could provide you guys with something custom, because at the time it was like Burmac and all these big companies were making these kits, OPI, Creative Nail Design, these ones. All of them were doing kits for schools. And we had something that was this black attaché case, dude. It was slick.
It was a nice case.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we ended up separating. He ended up going to another company, and he didn't work a day in the warehouse. He didn't pack any kits. He didn't do anything. So they weren't going to give him the labor force to put this stuff together. So he was responsible for putting all this stuff together. He had taken some accounts from us, and those accounts ended up coming back to us, and we ended up working with them for years.
Yeah.
Just because we were able to put those kits together real nice.
Yeah.
And that was crazy. But that was, that was like the first, introduction to the business. It was going into business with someone that you cannot trust or you didn't really know.
Welcome to the business.
I had no clue. I was going to be a fireman.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
That's what I was going to do.
I think that's kind of the thing is you don't really, business is gnarly. It is gnarly,
I almost feel too, like in the early 90s as well, if you wanted to know anything about business, you had to go to school. There was
totally,
there's
bro.
no, right now with social media, YouTube, if you wanted to look up any type of topic, you could,
everything,
you can find a professional who can kind of just give you an idea of what you're going to get yourself into.
For sure.
Right? On any topic.
Any topic, bro.
It could be marketing, it could be finance. You can pretty much, there's so much information out. Back then, there was nothing.
No resources.
There was not like you can go buy a DVD or VHS tape that would explain to you how to set up shop or get things going.
Yeah.
There was nothing, you had to buy a book from the bookstore that was like I remember I bought the Guerrilla Marketing. And I'm going through this. I'm like, I don't understand it. I don't understand any of this.
What is this? What is this?
I don't have the resources or the funds to be able to do all this.
Any of this stuff.
I get this is what you need to do to expose your brand. But there was no, in order to promote your brand, it was literally you had to be out there at a trade show.
100%. Yeah, that was it. That was the main.
Or actually, you had to advertise in a magazine.
Yeah.
That was it. And we didn't have the resources to advertise in the magazine.
That's right.
I don't know if you remember, but to put a full page in any of the trade publications back there, it was anywhere between $3,500 and $5,000
a month
in inside covers, which we always. I remember when we wanted to, we actually had the budget to advertise in inside covers.
We couldn't get it.
We couldn't get it.
They wouldn't. They were it's all booked out.
It's all booked out for 2-3 years. Yeah. It was so crazy,
dude. I remember the first sort of big break, Kmart. Remember Kmart, bro?
Oh, dude, we bought that. So my mom made this French manicure kit.
And it
had a pink polish.
Yes.
It had a top coat.
It had those like stickers to do the French.
It had a base coat and it had this really, really white nail polish. It was a small little like quarter-ounce bottle set.
Yep.
With my mom, anyway, she put this kit together and she sends it out to, I think they were based in Lansing, Michigan at the time.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Michigan. Anyways.
The buying department, right?
She sends it out there and we get a call from them. They're like, hey, we really like this kit. We were thinking about bringing this in. Would you like to come out to Michigan and meet with us? So Mom and I went out there and they're like, here are the purchase orders. And it was like $50,000
the POs
worth of like these French manicure kits. So we ended up, we bought a single head nail polish, which actually that nail polish filling machine,
it's probably one of the best.
It was one of the best we ever bought.
Yeah,
Habib and I mean, you should see the stuff that we have right now. And like we have machines that fill powder automatically.
Yeah.
Like back then, like we had this vacuum machine with one head.
Yes.
So like, and it was all manual. Like in order to create pressure, you had to take the bottle and you had to ram it up against this rubber seal to create the vacuum to suck the polish through the tubes. Then once you got it going,
you can move.
You could get it. But you, me, Mom, Joseph, and then dude, we had like
family,
Todd, Doug, I had all our friends and family over, and dude, we were just capping. I forgot how many. It was like 20,000 kits.
Yeah,
and there's 4 bottles. So it was like we had to fill 80,000 bottles of nail polish.
Yeah, dude.
But there was no double head. It was single head filling. We had to put the BB in the bottle. We had to fill it, and then once the color was done, we had to clean the machine. Oh, dude, that was crazy. And huff and polish, for weeks.
And dude, the polish back then was different.
Correct.
Than it is now.
Correct.
There's different ingredients. It was different.
There was no regular. There's no regular. They didn't have the regulations
they have now.
that they have right now.
And dude, I remember it was like, oh my god, this is the business is gonna boom, and then like I don't know, 6 months later, it all comes back, bro.
So this is the thing about dealing with big retail. It could happen across the board on any big retail. Usually you have to sign inventory agreements.
Yes.
And those inventory agreements basically say if the product doesn't sell, we have the right to send it back.
Yes. And they did.
Yeah. And
it was like, oh my God.
So we ended up getting all that back. Starting over again.
I mean, that was a big blow.
I mean, what about like, so I made the mistake of, Habib remembers this. I mislabeled a box by accident.
Oh my God.
So we had some kits that we had sent out
to Puerto Rico,
and I had mislabeled some 5-gallon containers of nail polish. And you cannot ship flammable material, anything that's a class 3 flammable goods, dangerous goods, through air.
Unless it's labeled and then you have all the documentation done. But it's very hard to do. It's not an easy process.
Yeah, so you can, but you have to be...
It's very hard.
Yeah, I mean, which now, I mean, we have all the certifications to do everything. Department of Transportation, IATA, I mean, everything. Like everything is dialed. But back then... we just knew like you're not supposed to do this. Again, I made the mistake.
It was an accident.
It was a total accident. I mislabeled the box. I sent it out, and then we had gone out to New York for a trade show. And we get a call from my mom, and she was like, "Hey, you just got a call from the distribution center out of Kentucky.
Yes,
UPS.
Yes."
And they said that they flagged down a box that smelled funny.
Yep.
And you should be getting a letter from the Department of Transportation.
It was actually the FAA.
Oh, that's right, from the FAA.
Yeah, from the FAA. And we were dude, to put it, we were like crapping bricks, bro.
I didn't know.
Terrifying.
I didn't know what to expect until we actually got the fine from the FAA. So we got initially fined $70,000.
Well, so it was you're going to either pay $70,000 or 3 years in jail. Like a bad option and a really, really, really bad option, bro. And it was like, oh my, terrifying, bro.
Yeah,
it was horrific.
You know, look,
and it was an accident.
It was. So here's the thing: like, we had to prove to the FAA that it was a mistake, and we had to hire an attorney.
He was amazing.
It was amazing,
yeah.
And we were able to show that it was an honest mistake. And then at this point, we actually had all our credentials. So we had gone through and gotten all our credentials for shipping.
No. We didn't. We had nothing. And the reason why I remember this is because I went to the lawyer's office when we had a phone call set up with the FAA with an agent, and he had it on speaker, and I remember listening. And so I had everything like broken down in terms of what happened, why we did it this way, how we never ship air. It was a total accident, and just a mislabeled package,
Correct.
And so the agent was like, okay. And then the lawyer also said, look, Habib is one of the team members. He's already got it set up. He's going to fly into Florida, Leesburg, Florida, where he's going to get the full training of certification. But and then moving forward, they're going to be fully compliant. And so they brought down the fee. It was like $2,500.
Yeah.
No jail, bro. I was like, I want to go to jail.
Yeah, so
terrifying.
One of those. Again, like, for those of you guys that are in the business of shipping anything that is considered a dangerous good,
don't do it.
or do your homework.
Do your homework. You got to do your homework.
You have to get compliance.
You can't just ship stuff. I think people have that. Even nail polish, you can't just ship it.
Even if it's a consumer commodity, if it's packaged in smaller amounts, dude, there was a time, which is crazy, pre 9/11, like if we traveled, I used to travel to North Carolina, again, pre 9/11,
mm-hmm.
and I would literally have a bag full of nail liquid.
Yeah, and they would run it through.
And then I remember
this?
Yeah, and the guy would be like, oh, and I'd be like, oh, it's
nail liquid.
It's nail liquid.
No problem.
Dude, and I'd pack it like in the upper compartment of the freaking carry-on.
But at that time, they were like, okay, cool, it's for nails, sure, send it through. They didn't, it just wasn't what it is, obviously.
Dude, so post 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go out to Puerto Rico to do a trade show, and this was one of our first international, outside, the U.S., which is still U.S. territory. But so the distributor at the time was doing really well with Young Nails.
They were.
And I was also, she had a huge clientele that was buying bulk at the time. So she needed, I think, like 30 or 40 pounds. Of powder. Yeah. So I had packed up in bags, plastic bags, right? Rewrapped in like bags of Coke. Dude, but now again, this is post 9/11, after all those anthrax, scares that went down.
Yes, bro.
The whole country was
freaking out over powder.
Oh, yeah. So, anyways, I get on the plane. And then right before we take off, ding, Mr. Gregory Salo, can you please come to the front of the plane? And I'm like, okay. So, dude, I go up, and the guys with the big headphones, down working, the guy's like, come with me, dude. So I go down on the tarmac, and he has my bag basically before they're putting on, and he opens it up, and one of them had leaked, and he goes, "What's this?"
It's like white powder, bro.
Dude, so it's either a lot of cocaine, or I am basically like a lot of anther, something crazy, dude.
You're moving a lot of baking soda.
Yeah. So I was like. Basically like, no, dude, I'm going to a trade show. I'm a nail tech. I showed him my card. My distributor, this is the powder that you use. So
for
he's
nails.
like, dude, you can't bring this on the plane. I'm like, okay, like no problem. I said, but can you do me a favor? Like, you can't throw this away. Like, this is working material. He's like, we're not going to throw it away. He's like, we'll just store it here, and then when you get back in town, you can grab it. And I remember where I had to go, bro. It was like in this like special part of the airport, dude. It was like a jail, bro. For
my God,
for goods. Anyways, like, yeah. So I remember getting to the airport. I'm like, I don't have your powder.
Sorry.
I got on the plane. I thought it was a smuggler or something. That was another situation.
Yeah.
I mean, lots and lots.
Oh, bro. This is when we were really in the hustle, of like you would go and do schools, like bring money.
You needed cash.
I needed cash. You'd give me the cash. I would pay the bills. And then we were always starving for cash, dude. You were always having to go out and sell at schools, bring cash so I can pay bills.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest school, dude, was ECL Occupational.
That's right.
Subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe to the channel